So Warren, big move for a Lancashire lad steeped in the English game. How did it all come about?
I think obviously I've known Brian Marwood a long time, and then you meet Simon Pearce and Scott Munn and Michael Petrillo, and you see their passion for their football club as well, and it was their enthusiasm was infectious. It posed a great challenge for me, and whilst there was other opportunities, I thought it was too good of an opportunity to miss.
So what appealed most about it? What was the deciding factor? Because it's a long way from home.
I think the number one is the people. I think like-minded people attract like-minded people, and as you get older in your own life, you want to do certain things, and if you want to try and leave a legacy or a mark, the thought that you could leave a mark on Australian football or Australian young kids that would mean a lot to me and give you a lot of self-satisfaction.
I mean, the Australian culture is sport and more sport. So
The culture of Australian sport, all my heroes and idols when I was a kid were Dennis Lilly and Thompson and the Chappells, and then obviously you get a bit older and it's Taylor and the Wars and Merv Hughes and McGrath and Warne, and also at the time in St Helens, Mal Meninga was there, who was like a superhuman, in the rugby world. So you looked on them as unbeatable sportsmen who were superhumans, really. So to go and have a chance to work in a country and maybe tap into resources like that, why not? If they've been the world's best over different decades, can they not be the world's best? But football, it doesn't seem logical to me that that's not going to happen, at some stage. I spent 2 years in Belgium where you could clearly see what was going to happen in that country. You predicted it. I know it's easy to say now, but I predicted because you could see the work going on, you could see the quality of the players, young players coming through. You're talking about 2006, 2007, when all the players now were playing in the Premier League in that Belgian team were just young lads. So it'd be nice to think that sort of situations could happen out there.
And you've worked at some of the biggest clubs. United was a big staging post for you, where you produced lots of first team players, and Leeds, of course, and latterly Hull in the Premier League. I mean, those opportunities presumably still existed for you. So what appealed to you most about, I think you touched on it already, but what appealed to you most about taking this job? Is it the development of younger players?
No, it's the people within the group. They want to be successful, they want to win. So all the people, when you talk to them, that passion's there. Simon and Scott and Michael and obviously Brian, you know well, and you yet to meet the other members of the staff, but they painted such a good picture of the club that I thought it was a fantastic opportunity, really, and something different, a massive challenge, but obviously with the link with the City Football Group, it's just a big challenge that it's too good to turn down, really.
And another Michael Valkanis, you'll be working with him. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, obviously, he played a big part in them winning the cup last year, and I'm really looking forward to working with Michael and learning more about the Australian culture and seeing if I can learn things from him as well and pick things up about the country and obviously the A-League.
What will the City players find or what will they see when you turn up? What will be the first thing you say to them?
Well, obviously, the first thing, I think you've heard a lot of them speeches as well, people going into club. I think it's them getting to know you and seeing what you do out on the training ground and getting used to the demands that you put on them there and in the games. It's got to be actions, football, not words, not shallow words. And the better you know people, the more you know which buttons to press and connect. So it's important to try and get a bond and connect with the players, so there's a real feeling of a culture in the football club that, we're all pulling the same way to win, and win more trophies. And I think it's performance-based. If everybody knows the job with and without the ball, and doing that day in, day out, you have more of a chance of getting out on a Saturday. So they're with the things, really, that every second of every minute of every day is important. And your preparation before you come in to do that is vital as well. And if you don't get your preparation right, you're not able to do your maximum in the training. And if you're doing all the right things, there's a pretty good chance you're going to do the right things on a Saturday. So it's that consistency, really, and attention to detail.
So Australia's biggest name player is probably at City, Cahill. Has he reached a stage where you don't coach him anymore, or is he still going to be learning from you? How will that relationship work?
Obviously, you find that out as you get on. Everybody, he's one of those people, isn't he? If I'm saying pride's important, he's had a fantastic career. He's showed pride all the way through his career and gone around the world doing it, and continues to do so.
And Australian football as a whole, what's your perception of the game there? Have you seen much of it?
I've watched a lot of it over a number of years now. And obviously, for Melbourne City, the success that Aaron Moyes had this season is great for any of the players there, because they'll know the self, how they compare in training and games to Aaron. And I think undoubtedly he's been one of the best players, if not the best player in the Championship this season, and now he's a Premier League player. So, I think any young kids there could look at Aaron and aspire to doing that, but also players of 24, 25, 26, they could clearly see that the league over there is a good comparison to the Championship, at least, and maybe higher.
And in terms of style of play, what's your favourite style? What can the fans at City expect from your style of football?
You want to pass and run. You want to play penetrative football where we dominate the games, dominate possession, but looking for opportunities to ask the opposition questions and play through lines and get people running in behind and obviously scoring goals, but also the flip side as well. You want to be capable of solving every problem that the opposition gives you and making sure that we don't concede.
There will be a question, though, maybe in the Australian media about the transition from youth football to senior football. I guess it works in both ways. I mean, you have no qualms about that.
Footballers are footballers, and whilst men have already formed the characters and formed opinions, dealing with younger players, you're always pushing and striving them to be like some of the real top players anyway. So you're trying to mould them into top players' mentality, who think and do the right thing. So I think there's a consistency there of just looking for people who want to be the best that they can possibly be, whatever age they are, whether they're 37 or whether they're 17. The same principles apply of coming in every single day and trying to be the best you can be. And if you've got a group of people doing that train well and know the jobs, you get performances and you get wins.
And a couple of weeks ago I was talking to the chairman, Khaldoon Al-Mubarak, and he made it quite clear that what the objectives were for Melbourne City this season, that he wanted to see an improvement at the senior level. Does that add some pressure? Do you feel any pressure, or are you confident you can deliver?
The pressure, I think, in football, you put on yourself anyway. If you've got a clear vision of how you want your teams to perform, you've got to do something about that in the training ground. Not just going to turn up on a Saturday and be able to perform like that. So there'll be a lot of hard work behind the scenes to try and mould players and mould units together so that the team functions how you want to see it. So if you do that and you get the consistency in the training and the performance, you tend to get the wins anyway, and that's the more wins or the more consistent you are, obviously that's when you win trophies. So the main aim is to start with that consistency on a daily basis.
And just finally, you're working in a unique model, working with City in Australia, because we've got the sister clubs obviously in Manchester and New York. Will you tap into the knowledge and the coaching ability? Will you be chatting to Pep and chatting to Patrick?
Well, obviously it's a fantastic opportunity for himself to learn, from Pep and Patrick and tap into some of their ideas. That's obviously a big attraction for myself as well. You're looking to develop all the time and improve. But likewise, I'm looking forward to tapping into Michael Vacanis' knowledge. I think in life and in football you can learn from all departments, and there's such diversity across the group that you'd be a fool not to tap into those resources and try and improve yourself as much as you can.
you will see the hashtag together quite a lot. It's on this building that we're talking in now, and it's talked about a lot in the group. Have you felt that already in the short time you've been talking to people who work here? Have you felt that?
I don't really do Twitter and hashtags, so you've confused me there. That's one of them dodgy questions.
do you get? I'll rephrase it. Do you get the sense of family that the group tries to engender?
You do. That's, I said earlier in the interview, you know, when you first, obviously, I stress again, I've known Brian for a while, so you know exactly what Brian's like, you know, but when you meet Simon Pearce and Scott Munn and Micah Petrillo, you just get that feeling that they're desperate for success and that football is the main thing in their life, and that's always been a big thing for me. You know, football and family are the two things that you really cherish in your life, and it is a way of life, football for me. And you get the feeling with everybody I've met since I've joined or been around the club or met is all thinking like that and is all that way inclined, I think.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, and we wish you luck.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.